So the book Leo recently put out a video where she asked her subscribers to send in their favorite books, and she basically made fun of them, roasted them based off of their book taste, or it was a bookshelf on Goodreads that she was sifting through. It was a hilarious video. She has the perfect amount of sass, and I will link it in the description if you want to check it out. I loved it, and I wanted to do something similar, but I don't have the guts to roast you, so I asked you to roast me instead. So I went on Instagram, I asked people to roast my favorite books and manga, and now we're all going to come together to cry. Okay, well the first one is just someone saying undulating, and that's just very rude. It's a very rude way to begin this video. I don't like the word, it doesn't even fit! I'm sorry, but Beartown has to be the corniest book I read. Oh, that one hit. Corny? Corny though? Beartown is one that I can't quite comprehend people not at least respecting what it does. Corny. Corny. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. Corny? I don't know. Bachman pierces my soul. Corny? Okay, 1 point to you. Locke doesn't make good decisions and would be chaos to have as a close friend. Yeah. That's kind of a really big facet of his character, is that he is the author of his own demise sometimes. It's his cockiness, his confidence as someone who's very skilled at what he does, that thinking that he could always come out on top, that causes all the problems. Yeah. I love him, but he would convince me to do terrible things. Maybe I should be better at not being convinced to do things. I'd never roast a book unless it was The Haunting of Hill House. It could only be improved by being set ablaze. Oh, that's so harsh. Really? Why don't you like it though? It's quite good. I mean, what don't you like about it though? It's so eerie and creepy and it's fine. One Piece sucks. No character development and no stakes, 0 out of 10. How far did you read if you don't think there's character development? I mean, fair enough, it is a very slow beginning, but if you've gotten through the first saga, you didn't think Nami had any development? You don't think Zoro changed his stance on his entire perspective of the world and pirates? In Alabasta, you don't think Luffy learned from Vivi? Actually, you know what? I do have a friend who I was talking on the phone with recently, and by recently I mean like a year ago, and he said that he thinks that Luffy is a terrible protagonist because he doesn't learn from his mistakes and he gets them into all kind of trouble and the whole team is dragged down by him. I don't quite agree, but I have heard the opinion that the characters don't grow before. How far did you read though? It's okay if you didn't read far because it is a long series. Okay. One Piece is a long, overrated kids manga with some of the most ridiculous character designs ever. Yes, it does have some of the most ridiculous character designs ever. Absolutely true. It is long, so that's 2. You got 2 right. I respect your opinion, sir. It took me 2 years to read The Lies of Locke Lamora because nothing happened and it was boring. I mean, that's fair. Honestly, the whole beginning of the book is very slow paced, and it's the character work and the hilarious writing that kept me going. And the first time I read it, I didn't even enjoy the beginning. I just appreciate the ending. I mean, I appreciate the beginning now as a reread. But you did get to the end, right? Because stuff definitely happens in the end. But that's fair enough. It's okay. I get that my favorite series is not gonna be for everybody. I think it's a little bit more niche than I really would like to admit that it is. The Lies of Locke, okay, all right, come after my favorite. The Lies of Locke Lamora is definitely not the best thing I have ever read. Well, that's not really much of A roast. Frederick Bachman's books are the same vibe, and his humor is extremely repetitive. All of his books do have the same vibe. I mean, that's not completely true. Some of them are a lot more serious and some of them are a lot more humor leaning. But his jokes are repetitive. I don't know that I feel that way. Like, the man in a bunny suit on a toilet. Does that feel I feel like that joke's never been done. Except for in that one Bachman book. I don't know. I don't see the repetitive humor, personally. I don't see it. I'm trying really hard to see it, but I'm sifting through all his books in my head and I don't see the repetitive humor. Same vibe, same tone, other than some of them being a little bit more humor leaning and a little bit more serious leaning. They basically all have the same message, which is people are trying their darndest. Let's make room for one another, right? I mean, there's more to his books than that, but that's at the core of each of his stories. So same tone, same vibe, absolutely true. But same humor? I don't see it. Locke and Sean's friendship isn't even that good. I've definitely read better. No, you haven't though. It's okay. It's not okay. I've heard this from people before. People saying that like the friendship, like it's not even that great. I just don't, how though? How though? Can I be one of those internet people that says, did you even read the book? I won't do that to you. But how though? Now, I've read better, fair enough. There's a lot of amazing friendships in fiction. If you've read better, that's killer. But it's not that theirs is the best I've ever read, it's that theirs is my favorite. And it's there and it's good. Eliza Bluck-Lamore is kind of boring and Sean is bland and irritating. How though? How is he bland and irritating? Do you remember the scene when he walked into a room full of baddies? He said, who's the biggest, baddest mofo in here? And then somebody stepped up and then he just knocked them out. And then he was like, great, who's the second biggest, baddest in here? And then like he basically took over this group of people because of that. Because he's the biggest, baddest. Plus his loyalty to Locke. How is he boring? Lord of the Rings is overrated in the worst fantasy books ever. D&D is where true fantasy started. I mean, yeah, D&D is like an awesome aspect of fantasy. I love D&D. But Lord of the Rings is also awesome. I just want you to know you convinced me to read Daphne du Maurier and I regret it. Oh, I'm so sorry that I did that to you. I know that she is not for everybody. I totally understand. That was a great roast. Buggy the Clown is a joke. Yes, he is. And that's why I love him. Brandon Sanderson writes glorified YA novels. Cosmere fans equals MCU fans of books. The Cosmere fans equals MCU fans of books is fair. Sanderson is definitely doing an MCU-like thing. He's not the only author that's done this. He didn't invent having multiple series interconnected, but he is doing it in a very MCU feeling way, so I think that's fair. Now, as far as him writing YA books, I've heard this before, and I kind of see where it's coming from with him with his prose style being so straightforward and so on the nose. I can totally understand how it feels like YA writing to some. And I do think that he's an incredibly accessible author where a lot of people who have exclusively read YA, Sanderson was their gateway into adult fantasy. In fact, he was my gateway into fantasy again after only reading fantasy as a teen, and then I was an adult and then I didn't think I liked fantasy anymore, and then Sanderson got me into it. So like I get it. I think that there are multiple ways to write adult fantasy, but I do see where people come from when they say this, when Sanderson's writing style isn't what they like. One Piece, more like leave me in peace. I never wanted to get into manga anyway. Then don't. Kaladin Stormblast needs decades of therapy, not superpowers. You're right. He does. Maybe in book 5 he'll find a therapist. Peter Pan is an annoying character and I get why he's an orphan. Whoa. You went there. He's amazing. How dare you? I'll adopt him. I think Sanderson's books feel weak because his prose is so poor. Bad prose ruins books. I don't like Sanderson's prose either. I mean, I still like his books, but, you know, meh. One Piece is manga for people who pretend to understand modern art. I do not understand modern art, so fake fan, I guess. Locke and Zhang have the worst chemistry. Why are people coming after my boys? The worst chemistry? Explain yourself. Give me examples in the comments of this video. I'll delete them. The biggest lie of Locke Lamora is that it's a good book. Oh, that's an excellent roast. The Haunting of Hill House. What haunting? Haunting implies that things happened and nothing did. That's fair. It's wrong because things happened at the end, but it is fair because nothing happened for so long. At this point, Oda could say that Goldie Roger is still alive and it would be consistent. I know that's not gonna make sense to anybody that doesn't read the series, but that is a good roast. Reading Peter Pan is like walking with a rock in your shoe. Oh, tell me how you really feel. I can't be mad at you because that was a really good roast. Peter Pan being your favorite book and having a traumatic childhood are synonyms. Oh, you're just gonna come after me as a person now? Fair enough. If One Piece were a spice, it would be flour. Oh, that's great. No, but that was really good. The relationship between Locke and Zhang is really not that well written, and it's pretty shallow. Why do you keep coming after my boys? What do you gain from this? What have I done to you? Reading Malazan is like drinking IPAs. You feel superior, but you don't actually enjoy yourself. You know what? I'm gonna call that one fair. I love Malazan, but do I enjoy myself when I read it? Sometimes. Sometimes I laugh. Sometimes I cry for good reasons and not because I'm in pain, but I am in pain a lot. So I do think that's fair. Brandon Sanderson writes books for people who say golly when they're upset. I do. I do. Golly is a part of my daily vocabulary, so fair play. And we're going to end it on this beauty. Your favorite book sucks. My favorite book is better than yours because mine doesn't suck. It's a really compelling argument, and I can't really argue with that. Thank you all who sent in your book roast. There were a lot of good ones in here. Y'all are better at roasting than me. I'm impressed. Also, thank you to those who chose to send encouragement instead of roasts. It was nice little sprinkling in throughout all of the ridiculous, awesome roasts as well. I had a ton of fun with this. Y'all did awesome. If you missed my Instagram post and didn't get the opportunity to say mean things about things that I love and would like to participate, please do. I would love to continue to read through more of these in the comments. If you've got a good roast that you want to throw out there, let's hear it. If you want to keep up with what I'm reading week to week, I have a second channel where I post weekly reading vlogs talking about what I'm reading, as well as do regular reviews and in-depth discussions with other booktubers. That's all on the second channel, which is always linked in the description of this video, of any video. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on this channel, Tuesdays and Thursdays on the second channel. I'll see you again soon. Bye.